When I tell you that I have a PhD in gangs, I mean it. Like I said, it's not that I'm bragging. I just grew up like that. Let's get into this video.
Cartel got me working for the big faces. Federale got my car full of brick cases. Hit the pen with a grin, there ain't no faking. I was picked to my back for my shoelaces. Got out, should've seen the look on they faces. All jealous cause your boy stacking hella paper. Set up by the crew, they done put a banger in the trunk of my car and left me to hang there. No thing, then attorney went and beat the case. Got a job digging holes for minimum wage. Had a dream that Cato said he proud of me. Stay here, don't leave, keep doing your thing. Quit the drugs, but you know I went back to selling, 6-time failing. I went back to prison, got my head right, got my bread right. Push these weights like a kilo in a tailpipe. Trying to do right, I got a mission. Trying to give back to my boys in the prison. The old me's gone, I ain't never.
Hey, what's up guys? My name is JC. I am Ron Strong. If you're new to my channel, make sure you subscribe, hit that bell so you don't miss nothing. If you're part of my crew, mi familia, mi raza, you already know. Súbanse a la suburban. Let's get this video on the road. What's up guys? In the mid 80s and into the 90s, I was sent to my hometown in Mexico a lot. Moroleon, Guanajuato, and Uriangato. And there was already a lot of gangs there. There was already a lot of gangs. You know, they really didn't classify themselves as gangs. They would say barrios, but it's the same thing. And one of the biggest ones was the one that was in Uriangato. It was those chiquilladas. Those guys were about, I want to say about 100 deep. At this time, Moroleón and Uriangato was small towns with a lot of money. So, you know, small towns with a lot of family in America, a lot of family in Europe. Just very, very advanced, very Americanized for a small Mexican town. Just because they provide a service for most of the country in Mexico. They make their clothes, and that town has gotten rich off of doing that. So there's very rich people, there's mid class, and there's poor. So there's different kind of neighborhoods, you know. The fresas would get together too in Moroleón, and they would fight. You know, back then all these gangs would meet up and just fight. It wasn't no guns, no shit like that, no knives, nothing. I mean, you would hear about it once in a while. It would get a little bit out of hand, but most of these gangs would meet up at, you know, a jardín in Moroleón, or they would go to the neighborhoods where these guys hung around at. Back then there was los del Llanito, La Joya, like I said, los chiquilladas, los del infierno. And even Latin Kings were already there. Juan was a Latin King from Joliet, and he was on the run for a murder. So that was like a time in the 80s, late 80s, that a lot of gang members were running from the United States when they were catching, you know, murder cases and running to Mexico, to their towns. So that's when it first started happening, where a lot of the gangs from like California were coming into Moroleón, a lot of gangs from Chicago. So the Latin Kings had already, you know, set flag there in Moroleón. There was actually two brothers that were Latin Kings that hung around with the chiquilladas, and then there was Juan Carlos that started the Latin Kings in Moroleón. Well, he was the first one that started bringing guns to the fights and started shooting motherfuckers, and it started getting like really, really bad. The Kings actually got really pretty big in Moroleón, because it had people that was rich and people that were poor that were joining. And you know, having Juan Carlos as a leader, he was fearless, man. I mean, he would get to the jardín, jump out, start boxing. I mean, this is how it's been with a lot of gangs. If you check the history, all it takes is like 5 or 7 tough motherfuckers, and you got a crew. You know what I mean? And that's how it was. So what I mean is that I grew up in this environment as a kid, because I was about 8, 9 years old, hanging around with all these older guys that were meeting up to fight, you know, knuckle it out, and for their neighborhoods. So I grew up wanting to mimic that. I grew up wanting to see that, and you know, it just fed onto my whole gang culture that I learned in America. I also did this video in Spanish because I wanted to, you know, start getting used to the whole fact of I grew up on both sides of, you know, Mexico and the United States, so I have to be able to tell the story, because I did do a lot of dirt in Mexico with gangs, the family I was working for. I refuse to let other kids make the mistakes that I made, and it all started with hanging out with the wrong people. And like I've said it before, it doesn't matter if you live in China, Australia. If you're looking for trouble, you're gonna find it no matter where you go. And my parents were sending me to Mexico because I was getting into a lot of trouble in Chicago. My grandparents, and they were sending me to Mexico. But you know, I would get to Mexico, and I was very, very young. I started hanging around with Juan Carlos and all the land kings right there from Moroleon. I was a kid. I was 8, 9 years old. I would carry the gun around for him. We would go to the, you know, discos and wait in front for people. And I was already up to no good, being that young. And then having the whole machista Mexican mentality. My mom used to always say, you know, you're the man of the house. So pretty much I got to do whatever I wanted, because I had to drop out of school to go to work to pay for stuff that I had, you know, done. You know, I was a very, very mischievous kid, really bad kid, and I would borrow people's motorcycles. That young, I would borrow people's motorcycles, take it, crash them, not come back, steal them. Yeah. You know, so I had to start working at a very young age, and all those, everything, you name it, I've done everything, man. One day I have to actually sit down and make a video and tell you everything I've done, because I wore many, many hats, my friend. The moral of this story is, there is no moral. Nah, man, gangs have been around since, you know, and they're gonna be still around. They're not going nowhere, so wake the fuck up. The thing is that what we have to do is actually teach our kids to not fall victim to them. Teach them street smarts and school smarts. You show them what's the reality behind it. Be your kid's friend. Tell them, but also be his parent. But I don't know shit, man. My name's JC. I am Ron Strong. Don't judge nobody. Stay in your lane. Live savage. And remember, you only have one life to live. Live it out here. Free. No gangs, no drugs, no prison. Be wrong and strong. I'll catch you guys in the rebound.